Now, ever since April 14th, we have all witnessed the widespread criticism associated with Blue Origin spaceflight that actually did include those like Katy Perry, Gayle King, Jeff Bezos' fiance, and among others out there. And there's a lot of valid criticism out there as to why so many people have a lot of problems with the way that this was orchestrated on live television, the way it actually was handled, the way it was promoted. We know that people are just tired of entitled celebrities getting what they want and doing all these crazy things for attention. The thing that really shocked me the most about the spaceflight is that you have those like Katy Perry looking into the camera a lot more than looking out the window into space. That was a very big telltale that this was all nothing more than an attention-seeking moment for them. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Katy Perry right now is that we know that her entire team, including her manager, they are in damage control mode right now. They are trying to do whatever they can to tame the backlash, to tame the criticism, and it has been working to no avail. We know that they are trying to deal with the entire situation. We know that her team even actually called out Wendy's and really got very defensive, and they forced Wendy's to apologize. Wendy's actually refused, and look, we know that this actually created a lot more business for Wendy's when they said, can we send her back? But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with what Katy Perry is up to now when it comes to how she's handling the overall criticism and the entire backlash surrounding her spaceflight with Blue Origin, and how it's only going to make things worse. This is probably the worst thing that you could possibly do in this entire situation. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, specifically, with the Katy Perry backlash continuing to snowball at this point, after taking the spaceflight with Blue Origin and doing damage control in the worst way possible, one major development that is now active involves more to do with Katy Perry's recent action that is the worst thing one could possibly do. Already, both Katy Perry and her entire team, including her manager, are now officially in the works of creating a new single that will focus on her spaceflight with Blue Origin and a song that will focus on space in general. Now, the song is best described to be Perry's way of owning the backlash and using this as a way to channel everything against the critics, and it is, of course, her way of planning to release something in 2026. Now, this new quote-unquote hit single, as she sees it, that Katy Perry is working on is that she wants to take time on creating the lyrics for the song to make sure it will be one of her most successful songs yet in 2026. Now, this is yet further proof that Perry is only using the spaceflight for her own attention and to further advance her entire career. Now, the song is now underway, and she reportedly wants to spend one whole year making the song from start to finish before even releasing it. However, not so shockingly, some of those close to Katy Perry are already warning her that this will only create more backlash for herself in 2026 and will reignite everything that happened after her spaceflight on April 14th. Now, Perry reportedly is trying to actually let go from the backlash and instead wants to garner the frustrating emotions that she has been dealing with by creating this new song that is currently untitled. Now, the plan is for the song to include lyrics that will actually mention not just her entire experience of going up in space, but also Blue Origin by name in a creative way that will, in her mind, honor the company and Jeff Bezos. Now, Perry is reportedly getting very desperate with her career after, get this, ticket sales in certain markets in the United States have been severely snagging for her Lifetime's tour, and has been snagging even before the Blue Origin flight. However, the sales recently shows a massive and sudden dip after the backlash started once she landed back on Earth from Blue Origin. Now guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about this. The fact that Perry is doubling down, the fact that Katy is actually planning to create an entire song, an entire single, to focus on her time in space, and I say quote-unquote space, and how she experienced the same exact experience as astronauts out there. That's how she put it before in the past. That's how out of whack she really is, to the point that if the spaceflight didn't work for herself to actually make her more relevant, well, now she's doubling down on creating a song based on that experience, and she believes that this is going to make her relevant in 2026. Again, I think it's only going to make things worse, and those that are close to her, I think, are right. It's going to create more backlash, it's going to create more issues in 2026, and it's only creating further proof that she only went up there to actually remain relevant, to actually use it as an attention-seeking moment, and it is, very clear at this point that that's what that was all done for. A PR stunt or a publicity stunt, whatever have you, that's what it really all boiled down to, right? Now, look, we already know that her Lifetimes tour is not doing so well right now. It started just a couple of days ago, I believe, and it's going to stretch all the way until December of this year before it concludes, and she basically wants to do something different in 2026, starting off with this new hit single. As she likes to put it, she believes it's going to be a hit single. Honestly, I think it's going to be one of the worst songs out there, because if you have a lot of backlash associated with the Blue Origin flight, you can only imagine what kind of backlash is going to come along with that if you actually base a song on that. However, this is where it gets even worse, is that to top things off, but to make matters worse, is that they are not only fully supporting her of this decision, we're talking about her team, but also Perry plans to mention that widespread criticism in that very song that will center on her time in the Blue Origin capsule. So not only is she creating a song about the spaceflight, but she's also creating a song about the criticism centered on Blue Origin. Now, Perry reportedly only wants to release this song once the backlash is long gone and forgotten, which is why she will be spending an entire year creating this song, and even plans to actually produce a music video afterwards for her time that will actually focus on the actual experience as well, and will also promote the song. Now, others close to Perry, such as those in the music industry, are reportedly very skeptical and on edge about the sudden development that is now in the works, and Perry is doubling down to take on the critics. Again, I think that this is only going to create more issues. It's obviously Perry's way of coping with the entire situation, coping with the fact that she's not really all that popular anymore as she once was years and years ago. Again, she's like 40, 41 years old now, and she's really trying to actually find a different avenue within her own career. And again, I think at the same exact time, the fact that you have her manager, you have her entire team that is fully backing these plans, that is actually behind everything here, that is actually encouraging her to take on this song, to create a music video also, based on her experience in space, based on her overall experience with Blue Origin. I think it's really going to be by far one of the worst moments in 2026 for her career. I think it could have the potential to completely be the final nail in the coffin when it comes to her overall career as a singer/performer. And we'll have to wait and see exactly where it goes from there, but I think it's not going to be good business. Overall, I think that at the end of the day, I mean, this is just another shred of proof that she only tried to do this to really kind of advance her career, to kind of create another spark within herself as a performer, as a singer, whatever it may be. She wants to stay in the limelight. She wants to stay in the spotlight. She will do whatever she has to do to actually stay in that status level, and I think it's only going to backfire in the end. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about everything that's going on with this entire Blue Origin drama and everything else going on with the spaceflight backlash. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.